Hey everyone, I'm Mr. Roboto, back again with another quick trading video. So today's Tuesday, November 2nd. The topic that I'm going to be talking about is trading breakouts on volume spikes. There's two trades I'm going to talk about: Tesla calls that ended up being a win, and then also NVDA calls that ended up being a win. All right, so let's dive right in. So this is NQ. This is the price action today. Very choppy day, right? Other than this morning where it had this really good upside move, the rest of the day was, for the most part, very, very choppy, right? So if you follow me on Twitter, you would have saw that I missed a lot of these opening moves this morning, right? I got, a very small piece of NVIDIA, very small piece of Microsoft, and then a couple other small base hits. But for the most part, I missed on a lot of these moves, right? But, I didn't let the FOMO get to me. I didn't trade any of this chop. I just let this sort of just play itself out, right? But I did know that if NQ dipped back into this 30-minute supply turn demand zone, right, I'd be looking for potentially going long on the strong tickers for the day, right? So very quickly, how did I get this 30-minute supply turn demand zone? So, if I go 10 days out, let's do 30 minutes, right? Here's NQ. You will see that this right here was a former piece of former resistance point, right? You see the price got stuffed here quite a couple times. The price, also got stuffed down here. But, this is in pre-market. And if you know anything about my videos, I will use pre-market levels to get my zones. They work very well for me, and I will continue to use them until they prove themselves to no longer be reliable. But anyways, the quick psychology about this is, at this point, a lot of bears got in here, right? And if they didn't cover their positions and they got a little bit greedy, when this happened, this type of move happens where the price shoots up past the entry points of these bears and these shorts, all of a sudden these bears who, saw quite a bit of green here, but, got greedy, didn't take their profits, all of a sudden they're underwater. They're feeling a lot of pain, right? And they're probably, asking themselves, why didn't they cover their position? How could they let their green trade go red all of a sudden, right? Well, anyways, so what happens when the price gets back to their entry point, okay, down here? A lot of times these shorts are going to be very happy to just go ahead and close their position break even, okay? So a lot of times you'll see a lot of shorts cover. The price will then, jump up. You'll get a little bit of a spike. A lot of bulls who know about these supply turn demand zones will also get in at this same time. And that, again, shoots the price up even further. So that's exactly what happened here at the end of day today. You can see that right as the price got back into this area, we got a pretty decent rally here, right? So this is exactly what I was looking for. As the price started getting down to this area, I was looking for a rally like this. And my plan was to get into the strong tickers for the day who are just, dipping due to the overall market conditions. So my candidates were obviously NVIDIA. After a move like this in the morning, this was a very good candidate to, buy a dip on. And the other candidate was, as always, Tesla. Very strong move. And, I was looking to get into Tesla also. Well, so right at around 1435, this huge volume stick came in or on NQ, right? You can see that the volume started picking up at this point, right? At 1435. Well, at 1435, NVIDIA was still down here. As this candle closes, it's still further down than where NQ is in a way, right? So I went ahead and bought calls in NVIDIA right around here, right as this candle started to close, right? And then, NQ just kept on going. And this was essentially serving as my guide. And the minute I saw, some weakness or some slowdown in NQ, I would be looking to get out of, or start scaling out of my NVIDIA position. My price target on NVIDIA, other than watching the price action on NQ, was again this former support area right here. You can see these wicks, right? I like to scale out at these places because a lot of times these former support will turn into resistance, right? As it did here. And so these are also like where I like to scale out. So I got entries here, calls here. I took it right around here. I took my first scales here, and on this spike up on NQ, I took my best scales right around here, and I set a trailing stop for the rest of my shares. Right. Unfortunately, I didn't set my stop wide enough, and I ended up getting the rest of my about 20% of my position got cut like right around here. Still a very good trade, having missed most of the morning, just small base hits in the morning, getting a trade like this at the end of the day turned, an average day to an above average day for me, and, this wouldn't have happened if I wasn't patient and waiting for this setup. If I was, getting chopped up in this move right here, I probably could have been red on the day, and then trying to work my way back up in green, right? But I avoided all of this for the most part today, right? And I waited for the best setup to present itself today, right? Okay, let's talk very quickly about my Tesla trade. This is slightly different from NVIDIA. I was also watching QQQs on this, right? So this is a Tesla. The move on Tesla happened a little bit later. If you remember on NQ, at 1435 is when it started to rip, right? Well, actually, Tesla didn't start ripping until around 1445. So about 10 minutes after the NQ and the NVIDIA move is when Tesla started making its move, right? There was a 30-minute demand here, and it was holding this level, for the most part of the day, right? I was watching this wedge very closely right here, right? I was watching this, but really the move here was pretty much a range breakout. You can see that Tesla was trading within this range for, most of the afternoon. It did break out of this range a couple times. It broke below it a couple times, but for the most part, it was holding this range. Well, I didn't play it here. There wasn't too much confluence to actually play it here, right? But I know that at the end of the day, Tesla has been rallying a lot of times in the power hour, right? So knowing that, and knowing that QQQ at this time was ripping, right? I pretty much took this range breakout the minute Tesla showed me, some volume started coming in, and it broke out of this range. This is essentially where I took my calls, right? And then I had a 15-minute supply zone here. I scaled out on this first push. I'm not greedy on these backside moves at the end of the day. I went ahead and scaled out pretty heavy right here, held through a little bit of this dip, and then I scaled out more here, and I scaled out more here. So this is the options chart. I just took 1,300 calls for this week. I got in around 4.7 if I remember, and I had some scales around 5.6. Some more scales right at 6, and I think my best scales were around 6.5, right? Again, a very nice base hit, on a day that was pretty much going to be flat for me. These two trades ended up turning, an average day into, again, a above average day. So that's it for these two trades. I walk through both of these trades live in real time in my private Discord. Again, if that's something that you're interested in, just let me know. There will be a link in the description. And I hope everyone was green today. I hope everyone had a good trading day. I know it was a very boring day, a very choppy day. I hope most of you guys were able to avoid all of this and, maybe catch a little bit of this backside move at the end of the day with this end of the day rally. All right. Hope you guys learned something. If you did, please like, share, and comment, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks.